Hey, howdy and hello and welcome to The Crazy Train, the comedy podcast with no rails. I'm your host Rob Wade and I'm joined as always by my rock, the incomparable Blake Harmer.
Hey, howdy, Pilgrim.
Hey, you partner. How you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. Yeah.
All good. Just us this week. Others have other things going on. A couple in particular are doing something new and exciting for Emotionally 14, which you will find out all about in the not too distant future. Suffice it to say, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but it's the tits.
Yeah, okay.
In the best possible way. So, indeed, yes, you will. Oh, my cryptic clues. And that works on several levels, actually. Yeah. So, we didn't have a recording last week because I was away. I missed Manhattan, decided just to go straight to Tate Berlin. Okay. Leonard... I listened to some of what Leonard says. I listened to every other Leonard Cohen instruction.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that happier when you do it that way?
Slightly, yeah. It's in like a minor seventh. It's not quite a minor key for everything. Oh. So we went to Berlin. Jen had to work, and I didn't. So I had a nice few days just kind of bumming around. And not literally, obviously. Yeah. I don't mean that in the...
Nothing like going to a country and begging, isn't it?
Yeah, indeed. Or indeed getting fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, what'd you do? Just bummed around. Yeah. So, fucked some men. More power to you if that's your thing. But
got into a bum fight.
Yeah, exactly. Just watching hobos beat each other to death. So that was cool. Germany's a very nice place. Don't know if you've ever been.
No, I haven't actually. I've been to Belgium and France. I might have driven
California.
Yeah, I might have driven partially through Germany. I can't remember, but
okay. I've never driven.
If it was, the thing I drove through Belgium, so I don't know if I was in Germany for like all of half a mile or something. But
okay. Yeah. We took a plane over, and obviously we've been through this on previous episodes, but I'm not a fan of flying.
No.
I don't enjoy it. It's not built for me. It's very, very cramped. It's very, very small. The upside was it was only an hour and a half.
I was going to say, it can't have been a long flight.
No, on the way out, I watched The Dark Knight Rises.
Okay.
Which I liked that film anyway, but watching it again recently made me realise I really, really like that film. It does a lot of stuff I like a lot.
I must admit, it's one of those ones that I really liked at the cinema. I've never watched it since.
Yeah, you've never gone back and tried it again.
And when the other ones like Batman Begins, Dark Knight, The Dark Knight, I've watched them loads of times. I think Dark Knight Rises I've only watched once. Remember really, really liking it and never really
it's
gone
good.
back to it. Yeah.
Speaking of which, right, so obviously there's been this running joke about me donning a Bane mask and doing a reading of The Tiger Who Came to Tea.
Yeah.
And I've been taking it semi-seriously. I've been looking on, around eBay and Amazon for Bane masks. Other retailers are available, but, you're limited on places that sell Bane masks.
Do you realise this is how a cult starts, right?
Yeah, I realise that. It's the crazy train for the people. Anyway, I found one, and I was looking at it, and I noticed this thing here. So, dash buttons...
Yeah.
So those for those unfamiliar, because obviously not everybody is. They're little like plastic buttons, and they connect up, I'm guessing, to your Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And they connect, and you map them to a particular product, and then when you're running low on it, you press it, and then it orders you that.
Yeah. I think they'll do it normally with something like
toilet roll
tablets.
Yeah, toilet roll, dishwasher things, washing up liquids, washing tablets.
Are you saying they do Bane masks?
Yeah. So I've got the option here, add to your dash buttons. So every couple of weeks I'm just like, I fancy another Bane mask, and I can just have one.
Beep.
Yeah.
So charge my account.
Yeah, just all these Bane masks, that would be how a cult starts.
Does it send you random masks instead of Bane masks? Because I think I just saw, as you just scrolled past, I thought I saw a weird scary dolphin mask then.
Oh, that's a related you might also like. But actually, let's see. You can add that to your dash buttons too. So if you just want a dolphin
I didn't
mask,
know if it was just like, it's a bit like the Google, do you feel like I feel lucky?
Yeah.
Thing, you just press the button, like, am I going to get a Bane mask? Oh, no, shit, it's another dolphin.
Fuck, Scarecrow again. This is just a burlap bag. I could do this for free.
Yeah. Why did I pay 20 quid for this?
Exactly. So for those who've never heard The Crazy Train before, what you are in for is more of what you've just heard. So the comedy podcast with no rails is named for a reason, which is that we take a point and we go off in any direction that the conversation takes us. Nobody knows where The Crazy Train goes. If that sounds like your bag, then get on board, welcome aboard, and stick with us for the whole however long we talk for. Because again, we don't really know. No. This is not one of those ones where it's like, this will be exactly an hour after editing, and it will be hilarious, and it will be a solid 8.9 out of 10.
Yeah. So not even Aussie knows where the Crazy Train's going.
Exactly. Some of these are 9.5, some of them are 6s, some of them have too much water, 5 out of 7. Yeah. We will see. You know, it's just one of those things that shit happens, and we just go with it.
Yeah. Would date.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yes. Sometimes episodes are 8 out of 10 would bang.
Yeah.
You know.
It's quite right.
Yeah. Sometimes one day we'll do it. Kill, fuck, marry of Crazy Train episodes. Not the cast, because that will just upset people. Yeah, somebody has to die then.
We all know it's me.
Only because you've deemed yourself.
Well, I am a red shirt. So.
Yeah, you've deemed yourself expendable.
Yeah.
And in fact, you're actually sporting right now the Emotionally 14 Dream Big Blake as a red shirt t-shirt, which you can buy right now from tpublic.com by searching Emotionally 14 or Dream Big.
Plug.
Yeah. Well, this is all I'm going to do.
Yeah. I know this.
It's very rare. It's very rare that I'm going to advertise anything else. It's so.
Well, to be fair, on the Crazy Train, I imagine you would advertise at least things related to the Crazy Train, rather than just
random stuff.
Yeah, but you don't just. Yeah, well, I mean, you've already advertised Amazon Dash buttons, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, other retailers are available, and they might have buttons that also send you shit.
Yeah,
technically, anything that click a mouse is counts.
No one bought any of the Dream Big t-shirts, but the dolphin masks have gone through the fucking roof.
Yeah. Which is a weird place for them, because they're water-based.
Too much water.
I feel like we had reviews. Let me just see.
Did we?
I don't know. I'm going to check. I may cut this. I can always cut this if we don't.
No, nobody likes it. As we were.
Nope, nobody gives a shit. Anyway. So we did a bit of digging behind the scenes. With the magic of editing, you'll never know the difference. But we actually do have an iTunes review.
Ooh.
It's been a little while since we've had one, actually. And, we subscribe, much like Talk Star Wars, we subscribe to the if you write it, I will read it, for better or worse, which you're about to find out what I mean.
Yeah.
So we have a 5-star review from a user called The Great Big Walking Carpet.
Okay.
Clearly, we know what they're fans of.
Yeah.
Carpets.
Yeah. Definitely Firefly.
Indeed. So it's 5 stars, and it reads, "It's as crazy as can be. There are many podcasts out there, but this is about as out there as a podcast gets. Imagine a bunch of friends sitting around chatting about the things that friends chat about. Then there's some crazy, impossible to describe what happens, as it's random, but rest assured it's funny. The hosts, Blake and Brad, are joined by an assortment of friends, including Rob Wade." Yeah,
really?
This person, I have a feeling I know who this is, and they're busting my fucking chops. Something fierce. Who excels in his role as fall guy, straight man, and support artist, all rolled into one. So to have a listen, treat your ears to one of the funniest things you'll hear week in, week out. Oh, they're a bit sweary, so adults only. That's good advice.
Yeah,
we are a little sweary. Yeah. I've often toyed with could we theoretically dial back the swearing? And I think fuck that.
I think I'd be too wary of it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And also, it makes more edit. If I then
I think I'd be a bit more on edge than.
Yeah,
rather I wouldn't be in as relaxed atmosphere, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, I like to think we're relatively sparing with the swears anyway. We don't like
we're not just
punctuating with it.
It's not like Eddie Murphy. Oh, you're the fuck you man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're not punctuating with it.
No,
can't punctuate it.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So thank you, Great Big Walking Carpet, or Jeremy, as I suspect you're known. Because I believe he has reviewed us before, but something about iTunes, it seems to give you a chance to do it every so often.
You'll put a different name.
No, you can do it. You can do every so often. You can go back in and do it again.
Oh, nice.
So speaking of Jeremy, and like I say, this is definitely Jeremy. These ones because he sent me them under his name, whereas that one could have been him, could have been an alias, could have been anybody theoretically.
So
but
time for our new section.
Indeed, it's called Jeremy wrote in. What's he say? So, Jeremy asks, which actors make you want to watch a movie or TV show just because they're in it? For me, Ron Perlman, Michael Ironside, and Simon Pegg. However, this leads to a problem. All right, well, I'll tell you what, I'll do this in 2 parts. Yeah, so
I think that's a good choice. Because I think
which actors make you want to watch a movie or TV show?
Yeah, definitely Ron Perlman's a good choice because he's normally
Ron Perlman's an excellent choice.
Sam Neill for me.
Sam Neill, that's a good choice.
Because he's normally quite a bankable guy in terms of films he's in.
I agree. Yeah, I would say in a similar vein. I know Brad's the one I think who brought this up originally, but I think he's spot on. Woody Harrelson.
Oh, Woody Harrelson doesn't normally. I mean, I don't think I've really seen a bad film he's in.
No, exactly.
I know okay, some people aren't going to enjoy the Hunger Games films, maybe, but
yeah, but I mean, they're okay.
I mean,
they're fine.
They're perfectly fine and serviceable. Yeah, I didn't hate any of the Hunger Games films. I just thought the last one was obviously a money grabbing thing.
Yeah,
it could have been one film.
It's tweentastic. I mean, it's and
I don't think that Woody Harrelson was the reason behind it, especially when he was already invested in the series anyway.
Yeah, indeed. It's not like you can turn around and say, like it's different with somebody like Philip Seymour Hoffman because he'd unfortunately passed away before the end of the series. So, you didn't get a chance for him to reprise his role and stuff like that. So, that's understandable. In the same way, like Carrie Fisher will be in episode 9, they'll have to work around it. Yeah, and I respect whatever they do, and I'm on board with everything except recasting. I don't think they should recast them. I know they don't want to do the CG thing that they. I think they can. There are ways and means to do it that aren't blatantly obvious. Yeah. I mean, I don't. The thing is, going by the way the film's going, yes, she needs to be there but does she need to be in the foreground? Because she doesn't seem to be. I don't even necessarily think she needs to be in the film because it seems to me like they need to time jump a little bit. Well, then something needs to happen because it's obviously there's going to be a time jump. They could just say, "Oh, she died in some battle" or something. But then again, that doesn't do her justice. No, but I feel like that was half the problem. I feel like recasting does her even less. That's the problem I've got with it. Yeah, and I know I can see why Rian Johnson didn't want to kill her. Because, no, totally. Yeah, because every single, as he said, she's very important to the rest of the film. That's the thing. They could have had her die quite easily at the bit where she's blown out of the ship. Yeah. What an amazing thing that would be to just have to cut around it. So it's just like she goes out into space and everybody's just looking out and then it cuts to Poe just going, well, she's fucked. Credits. Oh, credits, yeah. 14 minutes of movie, 3 minutes of movie. Thanks for your cash. Yeah. Buy a collector's cup on the way out, you fucks. Yeah. Don't forget to buy EA's next game. Yeah, exactly. If they've still got the license next time. Shitheads. They're not going to have the license soon, are they? I don't know. I've heard rumours. The thing about those rumours is they come from the same rumours of like, you won't believe what this person said they're going to do. I probably won't, to be honest. If I click in, I bet it's bollocks. Yeah. He didn't say it, that's why. Exactly, yeah. Can you believe that so-and-so said that, like Trump or whatever? It's like, no, because it's bollocks. And you don't. This is the thing. I mean, like, not to go too deep into politics, but I feel like you don't need to make stupid shit up that Trump says because he says some stupid shit. Yeah. You just need to just stand there with a voice recorder. Yeah, and every now and then just be like, because that's the thing. Is like, can you believe he said yes, I can. He's a pillock. We know he's a pillock. This is it. He's a pillock. I don't know how someone who's so blundering about has ended up in the position of power. Well, I think he, in a lot of respects, he's smarter than people give him credit for. But he is. Again, I'm still not under any illusion that he's not a pillock. But then like a little part of me thought that with Boris as well. I was just going. He's a pillock. He is a pillock. He's a bit of a buffoon, Yeah, but then part of me is like, well, is he putting that on because he obviously it makes him affable. He must have some level of intelligence to do his job. Yeah. All right. Anyway, so any other? So you mentioned Sam Neill. We talked about Woody Harrelson a bit. Who else? I think I've got a couple. So if you want to think of some? Yeah, you go ahead. Lance Reddick. He's in Horizon Zero Dawn. Yeah, and as, I can't remember his name. Silas, maybe. Yeah, and the guy from John Wick. Yeah, that's the guy. He's in Bosch as well, and I really love Bosch. I've never seen Bosch. In the similar vein, Titus Welliver, but only because he's only as Bosch. Okay. I just love that man. He's great in everything he does. I've seen him in. I really do quite like Affleck. Like, there's very few movies I can point to that I've seen of his. I'll caveat with that, because I haven't seen things like Jiggly and stuff, and they're supposed to be shit. But I haven't seen many of his movies that I'm just like, this is a bad movie. I'd quite like to be BVS, so I haven't seen Justice League, admittedly, so... No. I've heard mixed things. Yeah, the whole DC universe, and I mean, some people seem to be like, because they know I like superhero films. Yeah. Everyone keeps going to me, I can't believe you haven't seen Batman vs. Superman or Justice League or Suicide Squad. And I was just like... Because the reviews have been terrible. Yeah, I have no desire to watch them. No, I've heard they're not very good. Yeah. But I'm noticing something actually. You know, like I can't remember if I talked about it on this show or whether I talked about it on another podcast. But I've theorized that the critics are playing a bit of team sports when it comes to like, I'm Team Marvel.
Oh, I'm not saying I agree to an extent that, you know, because you get the DC fanboys that are like going, oh, they're just milking Marvel because it's popular, and I'm just like, I do see that to a degree where you will get some reviewers seem to let more slide with the Marvel films than they would say the DC films. But considering that the best one that's come out apparently is Wonder Woman, and that is the only one I've seen, and I did really enjoy Wonder Woman.
It's good.
Don't get me
it's
wrong.
A good movie.
It is a very good movie.
Gal Gadot, there's another one who would make me watch a film. Oh my god. Yeah. Mainly because she's really great. She seems lovely, and she's so gorgeous.
But considering I have. Because that's the thing, I'm not just basing it on critics' opinions. I am also basing it on other people I know who have watched films. And normally, in my opinion, you know, I will listen to my friends' opinions of movies.
Yeah.
Because, okay, bar a couple of my friends, majority of them have fairly good opinions of films.
They line up with you relatively well.
Yeah. You know, I know that if they like it, there's a good chance I'll like it. Or something like that, you know. Or it's only rare that I'll go like, oh, this bloke doesn't like it, then I'll probably like it.
Yeah.
But when everyone is going a bit about with like a lot of the DC movies, and they don't say that about the Marvel movies,
it's a bit of both, isn't it? It's like that probably means the DC movies aren't great, but it also probably means they're a little bit
because I really liked Wonder Woman, but I wouldn't have said it was as good as say Guardians.
No, but what I was finding interesting, this is what I was kind of coming to, is ever since Black Panther came out and has done really well, which is awesome, because I'm really glad.
I'm happy it's done well, and I enjoyed it.
I'm really pleased that it's doing well, because it means that second tier characters, because let's be fair, Black Panther is not historically been
did as well as it did.
I'm not. Because obviously it's got the sort of a lot of people are considering it very societally important, even though, you know, Blade.
But then again, I know some people.
I do understand
it. Like, I can understand why that's there, and I'm not saying it doesn't need to be there.
No, sure.
It's a helpful thing. But then part of me, I do actually get some people who, and I don't, and you know, I'm going to end up sounding a bit bad probably, not as bad as Omer, but no, there's some people I actually know will say I don't want to watch it, and they're saying the reason is I don't want to watch it because it's getting all this hype for that. And really, it shouldn't really make any difference. I agree.
I know what you mean.
From that position, I mean, as I said, it's not being said in a racist way. It's literally going like, why is this being touted for that reason when it shouldn't matter?
It should be on its merit.
It should be based on its merit.
No, I get that.
And I watched it, and I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I still haven't had a chance. I wanted to.
It's a good film. I wouldn't say it was up there with the best, though.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It was perfectly fine. The main reason I went to watch it, really, because I mean, I wasn't as hyped for it as everyone else seemed to be.
Yeah.
And I was mainly going, I was like, I wanted to see it because I thought, sod's law, there'll be something that's in bloody Infinity War.
Some important bit for Infinity War,
and not really.
Not really, no. But it's good that it's kind of setting up.
But I was a bit like, if I'm really psyched for Infinity War, I've got to go see it, because obviously
it's a build-up film.
It's a build-up.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. I don't think you need to be you don't need to be treading on the eggshells you're kind of putting yourself through in terms of your point of view there. Because I think you're right. I think in an ideal world, a movie would just be judged on its merit with no kind of broader political considerations. But at the same time, I do understand why they're there.
If I was to base it on second tier or second tier superheroes, of film who have had their own independent films, I would say it's in the middle, because I think that Ant-Man was a better film.
Okay.
But it's better than Strange.
Okay. So see what you've done there is really helpful, because I've seen both of those and you've given me an idea of how good it is.
Which you know, and I mean, I like all three.
Yeah.
They're all good films in my book. Yeah. Strange is probably the weakest of the three, but...
Yeah, Strange is good, but I know what you mean. It's
annoying, because I mean, I really like the character Doctor Strange, and I do enjoy the film, but it is plot-wise very formulaic.
Yeah, I think if it had been one of the first ones, it might be reviewed. It might be viewed more highly, because it's the origin story is kind of played out.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. But then again, it is Doctor Strange's origin story, so it isn't particularly much they could have done with that anyway. No. But it was just the formula of the structure of the film didn't really change all that much. Although some of the I love the bit where they're fighting and everything time's going backwards towards the end. And
that is awesome. Yeah,
and obviously the bartering the Dormammu is brilliant.
Yes,
and
it's really cool.
Yeah, I think all that there's some excellent bits in it,
but not enough to make a really great movie.
Yeah, it's overall formulaic. Black Panther. It's good because they've already established him as a character, and they basically
Civil War,
the focus is more on him and Wakanda.
Yeah,
and it's good. I mean, and it's more of a. And obviously Martin Freeman reprises his role as the CIA agent nice. In it, which is nice that he's in it. And as I said, it is a good film. There's a lot of that, and it does have. I did guess where the plot was going, but then again,
superhero film.
You know where it's going to go. You know, there's going to be a bit where the bad guy wins for a bit, but then the other guy comes back. And
speaking of bad guys, this was what I was kind of thinking about. Is obviously a lot of people are saying that Killmonger is a very good villain.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is all the articles I'm reading are like, oh, it fixes the Marvel villain problem. It's like, oh, you're admitting there's a problem now, because all of the time, all the last few years, all I've heard from these same sort of types of critic is these movies are great, these movies are perfect, everything's great, and now they're like, oh, thank God, this problem's solved. It's like, oh, there is a problem. Then you're finally willing to admit that Marvel basically sucks at villains in the cinematic universe.
He's a good villain, but I don't think it solves the problem.
Okay.
It'd be a bit of a spoiler for the film, so I won't.
Fair enough.
I'll tell you off air. But,
yeah, right, cool.
He is a good villain, and I am pleasantly surprised how there's a bit about halfway through the film where I was surprised at an event that happened in it. Again, I'll talk off air, but
that's fine.
But it was relation to Killmonger and Andy Serkis's character. I thought there was going to be a bit more of it, something happened. So
a bit more of that, a
bit more of it, and I was just like, oh, okay, didn't see that one, didn't actually see that coming. So I was quite pleasantly surprised by
that's
that.
Good. Yeah.
And he is a good villain, but without giving too much away, it still leaves it open for what I think is Marvel's big problem.
Okay.
Which is they need an overarching villain.
Yeah, so it's almost like they need the Thanos earlier, and Killmonger needs to be working for Thanos. Not that. Not that.
No, I'm not spoiling, but I mean,
not like Jaws.
They tend to. Jaws. I mean, like if you think about all the films. I mean, okay, they could theoretically bring back Red Skull if they wanted to.
Yeah, maybe not as Hugo Weaving, but
no, but
I don't think he's particularly keen on coming back.
They could have a Red Skull character, even if he's had his voice changed through age or something, or whatever. But they could bring him back because you don't actually see him die. I don't think, if memory serves.
No, I don't believe so.
It's been a while since I watched it, but
no. Or at the very least, you could, it's comic books. You could make that shit work.
I think there's an explosion. You assume he's being killed at that point, I think.
Possibly. It's been a while, actually, since I've watched
I thought it was part of the whole crash of the plane, I thought it was, but
maybe.
I might be wrong.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, but that's the thing, because that's the other thing, is like, half the problem with Marvel's villains is that they have some great villains, but they're not really using them, or they're using them for one film and getting rid of them. Yeah. I mean, the only one that they've kept, apart from Thanos, being an overall in the background...
Loki?
Is Loki, who is brilliant. He's the only villain, and also being Loki, being who he is, he can be an anti-hero as well.
Yes.
Because he's brilliant.
And they've done that quite well.
Yeah, because the bits where he actually does play an anti-hero in 4, 2 and 3 are great as well.
Yes.
So I'm not doing Get Help.
Ragnarok is excellent.
Oh, Ragnarok is...
That's might be one of the best ones,
actually. Yeah.
I really like Winter Soldier. That's probably my favourite.
Winter Soldier, I think I need to watch it again, because I remember watching it and going, oh, that was brilliant.
Yeah.
But it's been a while since I watched it, and I must admit I can't remember an awful... I've only seen it the once, if that makes sense. So remembering bits of it. Because Kat said, I was talking to Kat about it, and she's like, isn't that the one where this happened? Isn't it? And every time she mentioned something, I went, no, that was Civil War. No, that was Civil War. No, that was Civil War.
Have I seen it?
Yeah, I was like going... Yeah, so I was like, no, it's a bit more of a slower burning as the film goes, but it's good.
Indeed.
It's the whole fall of Shield. I'm really glad I watched it though, because I hadn't seen it, and I literally watched it the day before I went to see Age of Ultron.
And
I was like, oh, I'm so glad I watched that, because otherwise this would have made no sense whatsoever.
Exactly. Yeah. It's one of those movies. If you miss it, it's harder to.
It's quite a critical point in the story.
It's like not seeing Prometheus and then going to watch Alien Covenant. Which I did.
Oh.
Yeah. I didn't realise. I got the impression from reading about the film that you didn't need to have seen Prometheus, but actually you really did.
Yeah. If anything, I thought with my big problem with... I know we've gone severely off topic, but...
Crazy. That's what we do.
Covenant...
We'll come back. It's thankfully, because he's written it down.
We've ended up talking about films and not really fucking about the comedy as much.
That's fine.
But...
we're still funny.
Yeah.
Just deal with it, you know. Just whatever.
Check me out.
Just whatever.
Check me out in my hair.
You kids and your music.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I must admit I had seen all of the other Alien films prior to seeing Covenant, so I didn't have a problem. But yeah, if anything, I thought that film. I had problems with Prometheus, and watching Covenant, I felt it made Prometheus a better movie.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it didn't really solve the overarching problem, because I felt the Covenant ended up me going, well, that answered some questions, but now I have more questions.
Yeah. This causes more problems than it solves.
And I know it's bad when then someone tells me, oh, you should read the book of Covenant. And I was like, no.
No, I shouldn't.
Put it in the fucking film.
This is the problem I've got, actually, because at the moment, at the time,
I know there's that whole thing about
Last Jedi.
Yeah,
yeah. But they're like, oh, the novelization improves so much. It's like, okay, put it in the fucking movie. Like, these things are not hard, you know. And there are things
also,
like
I'm never quite sure when someone does a novelization. Are they working with the director?
That's my understanding. Yeah,
because I'm always a bit unsure whether they're going like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm conveying this, but I want to put a little bit of extra backstory, because I know that apparently, I've not read any of the novelizations, but I'm of the understanding that in Force Awakens you see a bit more about the characters that are in is like Coruscant or whatever it is, whatever.
Oh, the Hosnian system.
Yeah, the Hosnian system that gets blown up. There's a bit more focus, because you see that woman briefly, and then she gets blown up, and I was a bit like, apparently she's got quite a large part in the book.
More so in the book.
She has her own scene or whatever.
The movie's just her going, oh, bollocks.
Yeah, that was it.
In
going
the book,
like, she's basically like, what's that big light?
Wait, look, a laser. In the Force Awakens novelization, I seem to recall, it's been a while since I've read it, so this is kind of tenuous recollection, but that's why that would be a good name for the podcast if we ever had to change it, the Tenuous Recollections. Or if we ever start that barbershop quartet.
Yeah. I thought we were going to be called the Renumi Numis.
Oh yeah, the novelization starts with the woman saying, "Oh, do you want me? You know, Leia, you've been invited to this summit," and she's like, "You go." It's like, shut.
Yeah, but I haven't got a name tag.
There's what's funny as well is in in Rogue One, it's already quite bleak.
Yeah, okay.
The book's worse.
Is it really?
Because the book makes a point of like, you know that little Asian girl that Jyn Erso saves, and you're all like, oh, she's with her mum now. Lol, blown up.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, pretty. Because obviously it just like, obviously it talks in more depth about the planet being struck by the Death Star laser. It's just like, oh shit, yeah, she's dead.
Yeah, I didn't think of that, but
no.
Yeah.
There you go, see? You just think about like, oh shit, yeah, Jeddah City, where that woman was.
I love that.
It's such a good movie. It's by far my favourite of the standalones, which is actually why I'm not afraid for Solo.
No, I mean, out of the Disney output so far, Rogue One's the best film that's come out.
I think so. Yeah, I agree.
Not that I don't like the newer films.
I like them okay.
They're fine. I don't rate them as high. At the moment, I'm rating them above Episode 1 and 2, but
that's pretty much where I am. I think it's like 8, 7, 1, 2 at the bottom. But then that's still movies I really like, so whatever.
Well, yeah,
Star Wars, right?
I mean, admittedly, the only one if I was to really say a film, like a Star Wars film that I objectively didn't really like, would be number 2.
Yeah,
that's
maybe the Clone Wars animated movie, but it's hard to count that one because it's technically, although it's a cinema release, it's kind of an extended TV show.
Yeah. So. Even then, I don't know if I prefer that to 2.
2 has some good bits, but it's generally not fun.
It's one of those. I've actually made a point of not watching 2 because it was. I had this thing at the moment, like the first time I saw 2 in the cinema, I came out and going, "Oh, that was good."
Yeah.
And now that's why I'm slightly worried about rewatching Last Jedi.
Oh, okay.
Because I came out of the cinema going, "Oh, that was great."
I like that. Yeah.
1, I came out of the cinema going,
really?
It was fun, but I didn't love it as much as the others. 1
I came out with was really excited about, mainly because the comfy screen in the local cinema.
Okay, yeah.
Way back when in '99, when Phantom Menace came out, that was called the premiere screen.
Oh, do you mean it was
super comfy
when it was
seats.
Virgin or whatever?
Yeah, super comfy seats, £20 a ticket. At the time was like nearly three times the price.
Yeah, we didn't do that for Phantom Menace, but we did do that for A New Hope when it was the special editions.
Oh, okay.
So
I just did normal cinema for that. I did Chatham for that one.
Okay, yeah, no, we did La-di-da Virgin for New Hope, and obviously we did the other two, but we didn't. I don't think we paid out for that. Fair enough. The other two.
Phantom Menace, we did that. Episode 2, we just did normal cinema, and episode 3, we did normal cinema because I think by that point that screen had actually reverted to another company, and it was no longer a premiere thing. It was just if you want to, if your film's in there, you sit there.
Yeah, I think with episode 1, I enjoyed it. I came, I think that's the thing. I think that's where I'm a little. I mean, being a little bit older than Joe.
Fun police.
That's the sound of the fun police. Wee wee.
Woo woo.
Yeah, it's I think where it's like
being all the crime tonight.
Yeah, I know. Being a little bit older than, like, say, Joe, who I know was like possibly the target age really for Phantom Menace. I did enjoy it. I came out liking it. Don't get me wrong. I obviously had some gripes with it because I didn't think it was as good, or it was, too much Jar Jar or whatever. But I mean, otherwise enjoyed it as a film. And I thought, Darth Maul and Qui-Gon were awesome.
Yes.
But
no argument there.
Like the fight scenes were brilliant and that. However, every time I watch Phantom Menace, I think it's a little bit better every time I watch it.
It does, yeah, I know what you mean. It's like you forgive. I think time is a good healer.
Yeah, and every time I watch it, I think, well, no, it is, actually it is better. It's always better than I remember the last time I watched it, if that makes sense. Episode 2, on the other hand, is always slightly worse every time I watch it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Episode 3 is one of my favourites, though.
Yeah, and if I was to have one admittedly minor gripe with episode 3, is the length. But the reason I forgive that is because of episode 2. I think episode 2 is so balked that it took episode 3 to fill out the essential plot of episode 2. And I think if they'd put some of the plot in episode 2 that was essentially the early part of episode 3, it would have. I think episode 3 wouldn't have had to have run for as long as it did, and I think it would have been more concise to the film.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's why I'm a bit like, it didn't need to be as long as I mean, going back to the original question, because I know we've really gone off on...
It's fine, with the crazy train.
I would say that, if I was to say... I don't think of specific actors, but I mean, if I go like... It's a bit like I've not seen this Annihilation yet on Netflix, but I'm like, oh, Natalie Portman,
Yeah, and I think, am I right in thinking Oscar Isaac's in that as well? I might be wrong.
I don't know.
Not sure.
I only know Natalie Portman's in it.
I know it's Alex Garland who did Ex Machina, and he has used Oscar Isaac in quite a few movies, so maybe.
Yeah, because sometimes directors will obviously be something like that. I mean, I wouldn't say I was a massive fan of Wes Anderson's films.
Yeah.
But I do like Fantastic Mr. Fox and Grand Budapest Hotel.
Okay, I like Grand Budapest, yeah. It's a good movie.
And to the point where I'm looking forward to possibly seeing Isle of Dogs.
Yeah, okay.
Because I love the animation style of Fantastic Mr. Fox, and it's obviously got that animation style again for the new one.
Oh, there you go. I just checked while we were talking, and Annihilation does star Oscar Isaac, which means that if they're... I think Natalie Portman and Oscar Isaac's characters are a couple, which basically makes them the sexiest movie couple of all time.
Yeah, well, that's
it's Natalie Portman and Oscar Isaac.
Now, if they made models out of them with translucent plastic, that'd be you.
Oh my God, there'd just be I just have a priapism.
Yeah, anyway, sorry, I know there was a second part to this question as well.
I'm going to throw one more into the mix for the actors who make me more interested in the film. Although the effect has started to lessen because I think he's swept up in almost in the joke. Liam Neeson.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like he started doing Taken, and it was like, oh my God, he can do action movies, and he's really good at it. And then he was like, I'm going to be in all the action movies. And suddenly
the bit where he was in, he didn't seem to get away from action movies.
Yeah, it's just like he was doing all these movies where it was like, and you might as well have been on the phone going, I don't have money.
He's one of that's what made me laugh about it, and I can only assume it was an intentional joke. Is Seth MacFarlane intentionally taking the piss out of that he wouldn't be able to do a Western in Family Guy?
Yes.
And then fucking having him as the bad guy in...
Oh, yeah, funny enough, they asked... Because Graham Norton asked... was it Graham Norton or one of the chat show hosts asked Liam Neeson about that? And he said, you're in a million ways to die in the West, and you're the baddie, and you're a cowboy. And I don't know if you've ever seen this clip from Family Guy. He's like, yes, of course I've seen it. And that's the reason I told him, I'll only do the movie if I get to do my Irish accent. It's mainly because like it's,
good.
like,
I'm
almost
glad
like
that
a sort of self.
I'm glad because part of me was a bit like,
fuck you.
Yeah, part of me was a bit like knowing Seth MacFarlane. He probably only asked Liam Neeson because of that.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I was a bit like, I hope it was just because
Liam Neeson's in on the joke.
I'm hoping he's in on the joke.
I think that's my understanding at least.
I think Liam Neeson probably does have a good sense of humour.
He strikes me as the type. Yeah. Right. So the second part of the question. So, however, this leads to a problem.
Yep.
Other actors I find so skin-crawlingly awful to watch that I can't bear to see anything with them in. For me, the worst culprit is Tom Cruise. Can't fucking stand that mental little bastard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he hides it well. I don't care how many stunts he does. All I see is a little weird freak jumping on Oprah's sofa and that space lizards rule the world religion bullshit. Here's my problem. Simon Pegg is in the Midget Impossible franchise, and I have to not watch him in these thanks to that homunculus who stars in them alongside him. And did any of you see The Mummy? If you did, I'd like to hear a less cruise-phobic review. Great show and keep up the good work. I have seen The Mummy.
I must admit I haven't.
It is
I've heard it's a film people have watched.
It is not good. It's a bit weak.
So is it? I'm only going by the trailers here.
Okay.
So don't quote me.
All
the
right.
focus is obviously it's not trying to be the obviously the more 90s Mummy
No,
films.
it's very much darker. It's
and
designed
it's
to
going
be
more
more
from
of
a
a
horror aspect.
Yeah,
it
it was what was supposed to be doing was
meant to be the
part of
Universal
the-
Monsters universe.
yes, part of the Universal Monster reboot,
Yeah.
which didn't go so well.
Yeah. What was it? They did 3 films, didn't they?
Yes, and actually they did make reference in the Mummy to another character from the Universal Monsters as well. Another one turned up who hadn't been announced as like a surprise.
Oh, okay. I mean,
I'll tell you about it off air.
I've not seen any of the films, but I mean, of the films I believe are the 3 films is Dracula Untold, which I've heard was
Dracula Untold. I've heard is awful.
Well, I just heard it was meh. I didn't hear good things or bad things.
Which is
it was
a
average.
shame because it's Luke Evans, isn't it? Is it Luke Evans, the guy who does the? Anyways, the guy. I'm pretty sure it's the guy who plays Gaston in the Beast remake, and he's fucking fantastic in that.
Okay,
because I watched that with Jen.
I must admit, I can't remember who's in that.
Yeah.
Then there's is it the Frankenstein with
Aaron Eckhart
and Daniel Radcliffe, is it?
Oh, sorry,
Is it
yes,
that
I
one?
think it is. Yeah.
And
Luke
I've heard
Evans,
that's meant to be quite good. Actually.
Luke Evans, yeah. So Dracula Untold is Luke Evans, who is the guy from, like I say, he's Gaston in the Beauty and the Beast remake, and he's perfect for that part. He's really good in it.
I've not seen the Daniel Radcliffe Frankenstein, but I've heard that's meant to actually be quite good.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one, to be honest.
I've not heard bad things about it. Let's put it that way. I mean, if someone wants to correct me in the comments or whatever, then fine. But because again, I've not seen it. So
here we go. Yeah, Victor Frankenstein. It's called.
Yeah, and I think Daniel Radcliffe is Igor or something. Or
yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, and I've heard that was meant to be all right.
Yeah, but say the Mummy. There are bits about the Mummy that are good. The Sophia Butea, who plays the Mummy, is fucking fantastic. She's really, really good.
She looked good,
and some of the
CG looked all right.
Some of the CG is really good. Some of the special effects in general are amazing. It's lots of it is shot in London, which is always nice. And there's bits I'm going, oh, I know that bit. And actually, Tom Cruise seems to turn up in London quite a lot because I remember there's a little cafe around the corner from my work that used to be a dry cleaners, and they turned it into a record store to film Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, I think.
Okay.
So actually, they've got pictures.
I'll admit, when it comes to Mission Impossible, I've only seen the first one as well.
Yeah, I think I've only seen the first one.
And to be honest, I wasn't that impressed, so I never watched any of the others.
They're all right. They're fun.
Yeah,
you know?
I just thought the first one was a film I've watched.
Yeah,
I just
for
go,
me,
it's all right, but I never felt the need to go, oh, that was so good, I must watch every single one.
Yeah, for me, I like Bond, and Bond does enough of that. It scratches enough of that itch for me that I don't need any other types of movies.
And I
like
think
that.
for me, I mean, I like the occasional Bond film, but I wouldn't say I was definitely a Bond fan because I mean, I'm not one of these people that will go and see every film as it comes out.
I'd be interested to do an experiment with you at some point because I remember I had this conversation with Brad once, and he was saying, like, I'm not really a big Bond fan. And I was like, oh, which ones do you like? And we went through them, and he realised he liked over half of them, and that's quite a few films.
I probably like. Well, I don't know if I've seen them all, to be honest.
Maybe
I've
not.
seen over half of them, to be honest, because I know there's a lot. But
I've seen almost all of them. I think I haven't seen them all.
Because the thing, I like them, but there's not. I don't know. It's a bit like. It's certain films. I imagine. I don't know. Some films with big series or whatever, like Carry On and Bond are like British staples, I suppose.
Yeah,
I feel like I don't feel like I need to watch every single one of them. Because I know that I know what I'm getting with them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I feel like I can watch maybe one or two of them.
Yeah.
And I'm good, Carry On Up the Khyber, and I'm fine with that. Yeah, fair enough. For example, I don't feel the need to watch every single Carry On film.
Yeah.
A bit like Goldfinger, I think, is absolutely brilliant Bond film and sort of the epitome of a Bond film, in my opinion. And that's why I'm a bit like... It's
very quintessential, I think, in that respect.
And Casino Royale was brilliant.
Casino Royale's excellent.
And I think I love that because it's different, mainly.
Yeah, it's a little bit more... When Bourne had just been really popular, and they sort of incorporated the best bits of it, I think.
Yeah, and I thought that's why I really liked Casino Royale, because I felt like it was making a different twist on it. Yeah. Which is why I was very disappointed when I then gone... Because that film made me go to the cinema to see Quantum of Solace.
Not a good movie.
And I watched it and I went, well, this is...
Skyfall's good.
I enjoyed Skyfall. I haven't seen Spectre.
Spectre has bits that I really like, and then there's bits that I'm like, I'm not really sure how I feel about that. Yeah. Batista's fucking fantastic in Spectre.
He's normally great. He's actually quite a good actor.
Yeah, Christoph Waltz is good, not great, but it's nothing to do with him. It's just the writing's a bit weak on him.
I was surprised he was in Blade Runner, to be honest, Batista.
Yeah, it's a bit. Batista's a really good actor.
Yeah, I was surprised. I know he only had a small part at the beginning of Blade Runner, but it was... Because it made me... Dad said, is that Batista? And I was went, no, he wouldn't be in Blade... Thinking like, no, he wouldn't be in Blade Runner. Yeah. And then looked out, because I went like, it looks a bit like him. Though.
See, the problem is, I feel like, what would it take to make you realise that it was him? Would you just be... They'd go, do you need an escort? And he goes, no. I walk alone.
I thought it was when they put his head through the wall during the fight and he just goes, my nipples.
You must be so embarrassed. Yeah. Or do you find yourself watching a John Cena movie and just going like, why is there a hat just floating in the air?
Yeah.
He's one he seems to have turned into quite a good actor as well, Cena.
I haven't really seen him in many...
I've seen him in Trainwreck, the Amy Schumer movie, and he's fucking brilliant in it. And he's just one of those ones, he's like he's sort of trying to be this big sort of... The character's trying to be this sort of big alpha male, but he just ends up putting his foot in it by saying stupid things.
Okay.
Like,
I saw their advertising. I mean, it seems a bit cringy, the film.
Oh, Cop Blockers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel
he looked like him as a character is
he
fine.
Might pull it off. Yeah. Who else?
And I feel like his character suits him.
It's him and who's the wife?
Oh, I can't remember.
No, I'm really... It's weird. I'm drawing a blank on it.
But it looks like the sort of film that will make me go, oh, for fuck's sake, I'm not watching this. It looks a bit too forced from the trailer.
It's one of those ones I might go and see just because it might surprise me. Because me and Jen had this with... what's it called? Game Night. The Jason Bateman movie.
Oh, yeah. I've actually heard that's
really
quite good.
Yeah. It's really, really fun.
Yeah, no friend at work went to see it the other day and said it was really good.
Leslie Mann is the wife.
Okay.
Yes, and she's good value for comedy usually. She's got quite a few... She's got some good comedic chops. Any other famous...
Yeah, part of me was
adults?
a bit like... It looked like it might be okay as a film, but I was a bit... Yeah. Game Night, at least from the trailer, I thought that looked good from the trailer. It was a pleasant surprise, because from the trailer I thought this is probably going to be sort of a middle-of-the-road comedy, but it's got some really... There were some bits where me and Jen were cracking up laughing in the cinema, which is not... Comedy films... The last one to really make me cry with laughter in the cinema was Anchorman, and that's a while ago, just because it's so fucking funny. And especially the first time you see it, it's all ridiculous and over the top. Yeah, weirdly, comedies aren't normally something I tend to go see at the cinema. I don't know why. It's very rare that I do it. It's usually action films because they're the ones you need to. They're the ones that the big screen makes a big difference. Yeah, and I think that's the thing. I go like, I think I can wait for that to come on DVD or whatever. Yeah, and also because cinemas are quite expensive, I don't feel the need to spend as much as I do on it, Yeah, no, I understand. I'm the same way now. I used to be more into the cinema. I used to have the card that let me go sort of as much as I wanted and stuff. But now I've just kind of gone off that experience just because I wasn't really using it very much. I think that's the thing. I was like, I'm sure a little part of me goes, well, if I had one, I probably would use it. But I thought, I don't go to the cinema very often as it is now. And I think if I had one, it would just force me to try and use it. And maybe, yeah. I think is what I used to find was even if I didn't get a chance to go very often, I'd make the money back when Star Wars came out that year. But when Rogue One came out, I think I did 2 cinema trips to the Cineworld where I had the card, and I ended up I'd already cancelled it by then, so I just paid and it was fine.
you know.
Yeah.
Tell you what is nice, cinema-wise, if you get a chance, Blue Water Cinema. So for those listening, it's Southeast in Kent, big shopping mall. Yeah. Blue Water Cinema's just got 4 new screens with really nice reclining seats.
Okay.
And you don't pay extra for them unless it's the special show. Like, because they had Black Panther in the special screen.
Okay.
But then in the other screens, where they've also got the nice screen and the nice seats, they just play normal films at normal prices, because that's where we saw Game Night. We saw Last Jedi there, which was good. But yeah, if you get a chance, it's the ones, basically, there's like, I think there's 17 screens in that cinema now.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's the last 4.
They've got an IMAX now as well, haven't they?
Yes. Yeah.
I must admit, the only time I went, the only time I've ever been there was actually, ironically, to go see the Clone Wars movie.
Oh, okay.
So, but that was because it was the only cinema at the time. I think we'd left it a couple of weeks and we wanted to go see it, and it was the only cinema that was still showing it.
Right. Yeah.
And that we could get to easily.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's because I've got to drive past 2 cinemas to go see it.
It makes sense.
I very rarely, I never really think of it, because I just go, I'll go to Cineworld, or I'll
I used to go
Odeon.
there every week with my mate Dan. We used to go to Blue Water every Tuesday, because we worked together. We were just good. We were really good friends outside of work, but we worked together as well. And Tuesday was the only day we both had off. And he lives not far from Blue Water, so I used to go drive over, pick him up, drive to Blue Water, and we just mooch around all day. And we used to make a point, not every time, but probably every other time, going to see something at the cinema. So I saw Max Payne there. I saw there's a Will Smith movie of some sort. It might have been iRobot, actually. Might have seen that at the cinema with him. But I remember seeing a ton of movies, to the point where we were seeing stuff that we weren't even that bothered about, like, just because we were out and just like, there's a film starting soon, shall we go? Yeah, and that would just be enough to go like, yeah, fuck it. But that's what happened with Game Night with me and Jen. Was, we were at Blue Water, and she said, do you want to go to the pictures? And I said, yeah, sure. She said, well, do you want to see Game Night? I said, fine. And we made the decision that if Game Night wasn't available, we'd go see Black Panther. And then Game Night was available, went to see it, really liked it. So it worked out well. Circling back to Jeremy's question.
I was just about
to
say
The Mummy, we've just covered The Mummy, the less cruise-phobic review. I'm quite a Tom Cruise fan as an actor.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I've not really gone to see many of his more action-orientated films like the Mission Impossible series, but I really like his sci-fi films.
Yeah.
Minority Report's
as an
great.
actor, I quite like him. Minority Report's really good. Oblivion's pretty good.
I really enjoyed Oblivion. I
Edge
really
of
enjoyed Edge of Tomorrow.
Fucking excellent. I really love that movie. I really like movies about... I think I like movies where humanity's on the back foot.
Oh, right. I thought you were going to go, I really like Groundhog Day.
I like that too. Yeah, but I mean, in some ways.
I want Groundhog Day, but where humanity's on the back foot.
Yeah, but no, it's kind of like that.
Humanity's Bill Murray putting his foot in that puddle repeatedly.
Yeah, indeed. Or it's like, 6 more weeks of winter for Punxsutawney Phil.
Yeah.
One of the only lines from that film that I remember with any clarity is when he surprises some people with some tickets and they just go, WrestleMania! And they're really happy about it. I was just like, I would be happy about those tickets too. Because
especially if someone has been there the same day to realise that you really like WrestleMania.
Exactly. So which actors put you off?
I mean, I've not really seen what he's been doing lately, but I've never... Weirdly, I know I'm going back to Star Wars again, but I've never really been all that into Hayden Christensen as an actor.
Okay.
So I avoided things like Jumper. And,
apparently that's quite good though. And Takers is supposed to be good.
Yeah, it probably is. Yeah, I saw there was a straight to DVD film by the look of it, but it was like a fantasy one with Nicolas Cage and Hayden Christensen, and I just went,
the hallmark of fun.
Yeah, I just went, that must be quality.
It's tearing me apart. Well, tell me all about it.
I was just like, fuck, I'm not watching that.
Oh my God, now I'm just...
To be honest, Nicolas Cage wouldn't be a big seller for me.
Tell you what, I'm going to make a note of this. So we've got Bane, Tiger Who Came to Tea.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a note on this pad.
Okay.
Nick Cage as Obi-Wan.
You were meant to be the chosen one. Yeah, I mean, I know that Hayden Christensen was being, well, like a lot of people, hamstrung by George Lucas's script, probably.
Yes, yeah, I think that's probably fair to say.
I don't know. I've just never been that impressed with him. I think he's a pretty boy, but not that impressive as acting wise.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think of ones that there's nobody really that actively puts me off.
Not really. I mean, granted, I'm not going to rush out and see Nicolas Cage movies.
Depends on the movie, I think, for me.
I mean,
if I see something that looks hilariously bad, I might.
I mean, I saw Ghost Rider, but that was more Ghost Rider being
Ghost Rider was the first Ghost Rider wasn't that bad.
That's fine.
It's all right. It was a bit of a
but
shame.
The
really,
reason I went to see it was because I was like, I'm more going because it's Ghost Rider more than because it was Nick Cage.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm trying to.
I know Nick Cage has done some good films, but I mean, some of the films. I mean, I saw Knowing. I wasn't impressed with that.
Oh yeah.
That was just like, I thought that was a nice premise until it just went completely fucking stupid at the end.
Yeah. It's really.
White noise syndrome. I call that.
I'm actually struggling to think of actors or actresses who put me off a film.
Well, going back to a film that sorry, I know I'm going back to your question of a thing that I would probably watch if I know he's in it.
Right.
Actually, Nathan Fillion, I do like him.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, he's even if he's just doing a cameo, he's going to be a fun cameo.
Yeah, I go with that. I was trying to think. I was really hoping you'd say somebody, and I'd go, "Oh, that reminds me of this person."
Yeah. No, I mean, when it comes to TV series, I don't normally make. An actor doesn't necessarily make or break a show for.
No, I know. I do understand Jeremy's.
I see the point.
Question.
I mean, it's not like okay.
Are there any that make you go, "Ooh," like the difference?
I can see like what you said. Like if I was like, "Oh, Ron Perlman," or
yeah.
And even though I know he's done a lot of shit, even something like if I know Danny Trejo here, then sometimes that might make me go, "Oh, that might be fun."
Yeah.
As an action film or something, but
I'm really struggling. I really am.
And as I said, I know, I mean, Woody Harrelson is one of the main reasons I want to see Three Billboards. Yeah. Because that looks like it could be quite a good film.
And it's got Sam Rockwell, and he's also the shit.
Yeah.
And Frances McDormand is good in that as well.
Who directs that film?
It's... Oh, God. I don't know if it's somebody...
Because from the trailers... from the trailers, it looks like there's more comedy than there probably actually is.
It's one of those ones that's probably a black comedy, I think.
But the other part of me was made me going, is it a Coen Brothers movie?
Do you know... Don't know.
Because it has that looks like it has that sort of feel to it as well.
Martin McDonagh.
Okay.
Famous for three Billboards. He's a writer on In Bruges, Seven Psychopaths.
Okay, I've not seen them, but...
Oh, In Bruges is good. And I've heard nothing but good things about Seven Psychopaths as well. Actually,
they're both films I've heard they're good.
He's also the director of In Bruges and Seven Psychopaths. Okay. So. I did think of one. James Corden.
Okay.
I just don't get it.
I can take or leave him.
I can leave him.
In the ditch.
Fire. On fire. No, not that bad. But it does, like the Peter Rabbit trailer, I was just like, I'm already not into this film, and he makes me even less into the idea.
Yeah,
which is a shame because
I wasn't taken with the film, but then I was like going, he'd probably be alright at the voice. As voices go, I thought, it's...
But it's got Poncy Posh General Hux, so I thought, he's good. I like him. And he's actually one of the biggest missed opportunities in episode 8. I felt was not enough Hux, and the stuff we did get was kind of wank.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. If you'd put Mendo in there, you'd be all over it. Ben Mendelsohn would be, just bring Krennic back for episode 9. I'll be alright with that. Well, he can play his character from fucking Dark Knight Rises.
I'm still only part way into Rebels at the moment.
Yeah.
But when I saw that Krennic gets a mention, I was like, oh, please let him come and turn up in it.
I don't know that he has, but I can't say he hasn't because I haven't seen Series 4 yet.
That's the thing. I'm about part way into Series 4 at the moment.
Okay.
I'm not at the mid-series break yet.
Yeah.
I'm about 6 or 7 episodes in.
I'm trying to think of any... I mean, even to be honest, even the actors who I find... obviously I'm on Twitter and I spend a fair bit of time on there, and like some of them just a little bit over the top with the political stuff. But even then, it doesn't make me not want to see them in a film if I think they're a good actor.
No, because I mean, as I said, Tom Cruise, I don't really associate him with being that.
No, I quite like him.
Guy.
I think he has bad taste in friends, I suspect.
I think he does have a odd social life. I don't know what, he's obviously either got weird friends or he has weird beliefs, or both. Yeah. I mean, but I must admit, I don't tend to let that enter my world all that much.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a nice funny bit in the pilot of Preacher, the TV version of
it,
where the obviously Sabine being still flying around trying to find.
Yes.
It's like
oh yes, and it.
There's a bit where he's watching telly, and because it was obviously it's going to all these religious faith leaders, and they're exploding because they can't control the power. And there's just this one bit where preachers in the bar, and I think it's when he first meets Cassidy, and there's a video on in the background, and I think it's only focused on for like a couple of seconds.
It's Tom Cruise,
but it's just saying, it just says Tom Cruise explodes at Scientology events or something, which I thought was just a nice,
it's a nice little
joke,
touch.
But it's not something I particularly think of. Otherwise, I was like, okay, that's a nice dig at him, and you know, I mean, South Park has done well enough digs on him anyway.
Yeah, I think so. I think if he was, I get the impression he's probably got quite a sense of humour.
Yeah, I think he's another one, but I don't dislike his acting.
No,
because I think most of the films I can think of, like Top Gun or.
Like I say, even the films where I don't think he's that good, or like if the movie, like The Mummy, is a perfect example, right? There's nothing wrong with his acting in that movie. It's just not a very good movie.
Just because the film is bad doesn't mean that the actor is the reason why it's bad.
They're not necessarily the ruiner. They might be.
Oh yeah,
they might not be, but it's possible.
Yeah, it's not like The Room. Or
no, that's a special sort of messed up. Tommy Wiseau's one like that, where it's like I'm fine with him staying in a sort of semi-comedic effect, but then when they say like he's expressed an interest in doing Star Wars, like tell him politely to fuck off. Like, there's enough trouble with fans being divided. Like, there's enough trouble with fans being divided. I get the feeling they never even approached him, but he's just like, "Oh, I'd love to do something like that. That'd be cool." It's like, but when people,
but then again, which can you think of a director that wouldn't say, "I wouldn't like to do Star Wars"?
Yeah, indeed. Well, actually, Ava DuVernay said no. The lady who did, I think she did A Wrinkle in Time, which is just coming out at the time of recording, just coming out, and they said to her like,
I know very little about that.
Have you been asked about Star Wars? And she was like, I wouldn't be interested. It's not my sort of thing. It's like fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I just thought if you're an up and coming director or something, you were.
Well, I mean, like not Duncan Jones. Gareth Edwards obviously did Rogue One, did a very good job.
Very good. Well, as we just said earlier, we think it's the best Disney one. So,
yeah, there you go. And JJ's, he's not an old man by any means. Ryan Johnson.
And as I said, I don't think Ryan Johnson's directing was a bad factor of the film.
No, not at all. I'm not a massive fan of the writing, but some of it.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, it's a flawed film. I'm not going to say it's not flawed.
No.
But I mean, as I said, I didn't hate the film, and I must admit I didn't come out of the film going that was
rubbish.
Yeah, I didn't think that, because I mean that's the thing. I think both me and a guy from work went to see it the same day. I went back, so what do you think? You said that's the worst Star Wars film I've ever seen. Absolutely awful. Like, I mean, I was like going.
You're like, is this the only one you've seen?
No, apparently he's quite a big fan. I mean, I've never really spoken to him much about it. So, but
some people are huge fans and they didn't like it at all.
Yeah, I know. Again, it was just he's not exactly been in doing it for like that long. So, but it'd been at work that long. But so I just never really moved on to talking to him about films that much. I think I talked to him about music a little bit and maybe a couple of TV series, but I had never gone, what's your opinion on Star Wars then? But but
I'm really drawing a blank on actors and actresses who bug me. Jennifer Lawrence is starting to get that way to me a little bit, but only because I'm just not that big a fan of her as an actor.
Again, I don't mind her as an actress. I don't.
She's fine. It's just it's more. I don't mind. My problem, I think, is not so much with. When I tend to get annoyed with actors, it's nothing they've done, actors and actresses. It's nothing to do with what they've done. It's to do with how much the media fawn over them.
I think if you're always having a certain person rammed down your throat in every single news article in the world, especially on things like social media.
There was a long period where Jennifer Lawrence was like that.
Oh, yeah. I think she was having a bit of a quiet moment now because Red Sparrow got panned.
Yeah, and one of my friends at work saw it and said it's not good.
Like, I've heard it's meant to be awful.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be very good. But like... I think what it is if the media outlets are telling me, "Oh, you should love this person," and I don't feel it at all, then I just resent them for it. When they were saying that with Anne Hathaway, I was like, "Yeah, I like Anne Hathaway."
I mean, even though it's not been critically acclaimed, a little part of me still wants to go see Pacific Rim, for example.
Oh, totally.
But that's because I like the first one.
Big robots
punching. And I just said it's not going to be winning any Oscars anytime soon.
Maybe
but
costume design.
And also bonus John Boyega. So
yeah, there you go. And while John Boyega appeared.
Yeah.
So why not?
Yeah. So I was just like, I can't personally see anything better than the film.
No.
If Ron P makes a cameo in it, that's me sold.
So much the better.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, Jeremy, I hope that answers your question in terms of
in a way.
Well, the main question he asked was what actors make you want to watch stuff, and then he just went on a little tear. So I thought we'd kind of take that and roll with it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think we pretty much summarised that actors don't really force us. They're not make or break of a film.
Mm.
But I mean, if I watch a film and I'm pleasantly surprised to find a actor in it, but I find that. Like a bit like I was recommended Hunt for the Wilder People, for example.
Oh yeah, okay.
And I watched that brilliant film.
Okay,
but it's
with the Flight of the Conchords people, isn't it?
Yes, it's what's his name? The Ragnarok Waita Takiki or whatever.
Taika
Waititi.
Yeah,
sorry. I know it's a Kiwi sort of name, but I'm not very good with it.
Director of Thor Ragnarok, who's fucking excellent at directing films.
Obviously he did. What We Did in the Shadows and Hunt for the Wilder People.
Yes.
And I think he did a couple of other films, but they're the ones I've seen. But Hunt for the Wilder People is brilliant. But I must admit, I thought, I'll watch this, and then pleasantly surprised that obviously Sam Neill was one of the main characters in it. You know, and
always nice.
And the boy who's in it is now the boy who's in Deadpool 2.
Ah.
So
lovely.
So it's obviously the young boy that Cable's after in the trailer.
Right, gotcha.
So,
okay. Anyway, Jeremy, thank you for writing in as always. Hopefully that answered your question. And listeners, if you want to get your questions read like Jeremy, then you can email us at podcast@emotionally14.com with the subject line Crazy Train, and it will make its way onto the show because we do read everything, even if it takes us a little while to get to it. We've actually got 3 questions from Jeremy, but some of them could take a while, so I figured we'd do one today.
Yeah.
And then next time we record,
maybe we've got some more people anyway.
Yeah, so, maybe we will. Maybe we won't. Who knows? So I think that's about time for the Crazy Train. So actually, we managed to go for just over an hour before edits, so we've done pretty well considering,
Yeah, normally the 2 of us.
Normally we're always worried like, we can do half an hour and that's okay.
We'll have a chat.
We'll just see what happens. Yeah. But often is, it works out. So thank you very much for listening to The Crazy Train. If you've enjoyed the show and you want to subscribe, you can do so on many, if not all, of the following outlets. So you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Stitcher, Podbean, Podchaser. There's also Libsyn. Others.
Bibsim?
No.
Dip-de-dip-dim.
Flipsim. So you
a lot.
Yeah. Basically any podcast catcher where they use RSS feeds. Echo Dot. So you can. Yes, Crazy Train you can. Echo Dot, you can use any pod to play the Crazy Train. And it will do so for you. You have to install any pod, but obviously that's not my problem. You can also follow us on social media by checking out our Facebook page, Emotionally 14. We have a Facebook group now for the Crazy Train podcast where you can come and ask your questions directly, and obviously you can actually interact with the real cast of the Crazy Train, the real ones.
Yeah, all those nasty fake blokes you read about.
Exactly, all the fake, fuck's sake fakes. Yeah. And you can tweet us at Emotionally 14. No Instagram for Emotionally 14, but there are Instagrams for us. So, Blake, where can people find you on social media?
Yep, you can find me on Instagram at Harmer the Appreciator. You can find me on Twitter at Fucksake Blake. I am on Facebook. Come say hi. I won't.
Yeah, let's say come and say hi in the group.
Yeah, come say hi in the group. You can talk to me through there. Or, as I said, you can add me. I'm not, I don't tend to shy away from people.
Fair enough.
Or even if you don't know me, at least explain when you add me as a friend who you are. Because obviously, if you look like a robot, I'm not going to add you.
Yeah, well, that's, kind of racist of you, but whatever. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at RobWadeVision. And everything I do that's not Emotionally 14 flavoured, you can find at talkstarwars.co.uk. I'm also going to give a few shout outs. So let's shout out to Aaron, who's been very kind to write movie reviews for us every Thursday.
Yeah.
He has a book called Carbon Based Lifeforms that you can purchase from Amazon. You can purchase Brad's books over on Amazon as well. He has 3 so far.
Yeah.
North Sea Hunters, Tempest Outpost, and Vietnam Black. Just finished Vietnam Black myself. Thought it was fucking excellent.
Okay.
You can buy all of those on Amazon, and you can do all of that stuff using the Emotion E14 Amazon widget, which is baked into the site in various places. So you can go to the Team E14 page and see little links to all the books. You can go there and buy them. Anytime we post something, often, if I find something that makes sense, I'll attach some ads underneath that you can buy stuff. Bane masks and dash buttons on the next one.
Well, I was going to say the dolphin mask dash button has to be on there.
I think so. What other ones do I want to give? I want to give a shout out to the Wulong Talks podcast, because they were kind enough to have me on one of their more recent episodes.
Okay.
And I had a jolly nice chat with them. They're very lovely chaps, and I would be very much interested in getting them on our show at some point to chat geek shit, because they're very much in our wheelhouse. Yeah. Very, very much. We talked for like a couple of hours about tabletop, video games, Nintendo, fandoms, Star Wars. Okay. You name it. We ran the gamut of geek stuff. Really did. Nice. And it was a great chat. And let's say it's same sort of chats, like the same sort of chats we have here. Very chilled, very laid back. That sort of thing.
Cool.
So
I'll have to check that out.
Definitely worth checking out. Who else? Talk Star Wars, obviously. Yeah. That goes without saying.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, Jeremy. Thank you, Jeremy. Yeah. Very much appreciated when you email in your questions. I do very much look forward to reading them and predicting what the discussion points are going to be. Sometimes I get them wrong, because I thought that when he asked about the Oscars and what a load of crap they were, Joe would be like, no. But actually Joe was like, yeah, kind of. So I was surprised by that pleasantly.
No, it's nice to actually see number one superfan Paul on the...
Yes. He joined both the groups.
Yeah.
And Paul, if you're listening, thoughts are with you, buddy. Stay strong.
Yes, yeah.
Crazy Train's very much with you. We love you, and you are very important to us.
Yes, of course.
And that's all the shout-outs, I think. Jeremy, Paul, Wulong Talks.
Yeah, we do hope to obviously get our newest contributors from Suppressing Fire.
Yes, we're gonna. I've put the invite out to them already for the shows. Unfortunately, we've had clashes, but I'm working on it.
No, we're hoping to get either Dave or Robbie on.
Try and get both if I can.
Or both, yeah.
Basically, as long as I can get, two to four people. 2 to 4 people is what I aim for. So we'll see. As
long as we can get someone else on, I think that'd be good.
Yeah. So if you've enjoyed the show, thank you very much for listening. If you want to write into the show, podcast@emotionally14.com. If you want to be on the show, if you want to send in a message or like anything like that, reach out, because we're here. We're not going anywhere. Tough luck, fuckers. Yeah. So thank you very much for listening to The Crazy Train. Peace.